There is a well known phrase in the Christian community that goes something like this: it takes way more faith to be an atheist than it does to be a Christian. Many atheists, of course, would highly dispute that saying, and would define faith as believing something without proof or evidence. Indeed, this definition of faith is quite a common one. It's becoming more and more common in secular Western societies to define faith in a more negative light. However, in the New Testament, the word faith in the original language carries more the idea of trust and confidence in something, and does not address evidence or lack thereof. When addressing the subject of faith, I think it's very important to delve into the realm of epistemology. If you've never heard the word epistemology before, it's the area of philosophy that is concerned with how we can know things and how we can distinguish between a belief that is justifiable and a belief that is not justifiable. Let's say I believe I have superpowers that allow me to fly and read people's thoughts. How do I know I have the ability to fly and read people's thoughts? How do I know that my belief is valid and true? These are epistemological questions. While faith is trusting in an idea, person, or belief system, epistemology is concerned with what makes that trust justified. In other words, why do you have trust in that idea, person, or belief system? What reasons do you have to think that idea, person, or belief system is trustworthy? The thing is, we all exercise faith in our daily lives, and we all put our confidence and trust in different people, things, ideas, and philosophies every single day. Driving to the store is an act of faith. How do I know for sure I will reach my destination safely? I don't, and I can't know for sure. But I can know that my vehicle is in good working order, and I can know that statistically the odds of me getting into a car accident is 1 in 366 for every 1,000 miles I drive. In this instance, driving to the store requires faith, but what is informing my faith or trust in making it safely to the store is evidence and data. Now, driving to the store can be an act of blind faith too. Let's say you're looking to buy a used vehicle, and the salesman keeps telling you how reliable the vehicle is, and you accept the word of the salesman and buy the vehicle. Let's say the next morning you are going to run to the store, but as soon as you turn on the vehicle, the check engine light comes on, and there are strange smells emanating from the vehicle. That is a and you keep you drive the store anyway. Um, that is a good example of what blind faith looks like. I'm very much against the idea that people should accept things by blind faith. I think faith should be founded on evidence, and it's my position that Christianity has evidence behind it that justifies my faith in Christianity. Now, maybe you still say, I'm a person of science and not a person of faith. Maybe you still see faith as opposing reason, rationality, and science. Here's the thing though, our assumptions about basic reality rest on a certain degree of faith. For instance, how do you know the reality you are experiencing is actually real? How do you know you are not in a lab somewhere and scientists have connected your brain to a machine and the world you are currently sensing is being created by a machine and not based on actual reality? There is, of course, no reason to believe that our brains are being fed information from a machine, but there is no way to disprove that theory either, which means we can't prove with 100% certainty that what we are experiencing in this moment is indeed real. And thus, there is a very real sense we are taking it by faith that we are experiencing reality. Then there is also the problem of induction that was noted by the skeptical philosopher David Hume. The problem of induction is that we can't prove the future will be like the past due to past events. According to Hume, since we can't prove the future based on the past, that means believing the sun will rise tomorrow is a belief that can't be proven or demonstrated to be the case. In the words of Hume, that the sun will not rise tomorrow is no less intelligible a proposition, and implies no more contradiction than the affirmation that it will rise. Now, does that mean that all beliefs are equally valid and true? Certainly not. The idea that truth is relative is self-defeating and illogical. For instance, let's say someone says truth is relative. There is no absolute truth. By making that statement, they are making an absolute truth statement by saying there is no absolute truth. And so the belief that truth is relative is self-defeating. Also, it contradicts the laws of logic, particularly the law of non-contradiction. Take Islam and Christianity, for example. A person who embraces relativism would say that both Islam and Christianity are true. Christianity, though, teaches that Jesus died on a cross, while Islam teaches that Jesus escaped from the cross and did not die. Either Jesus died on the cross or he didn't. Both can't logically be true at the same time. So, as an aside, that's my rant against relativism. Going back on the subject, though, it would seem then that we have to have a certain element of faith to believe that the sun will rise tomorrow. I think it's safe to say every person on this planet is a person of faith in one aspect or another. Faith is not a negative aspect of human existence that ought to be done away with, but rather faith is a foundational aspect of human nature and existence, and it is impossible to escape from. So, does it take faith to be an atheist? Yes, it does, because one can't prove with absolute certainty the existence or non existence of God. Even if one believes they have compelling reasons to not believe in the existence of God, there's still an element of uncertainty there, and thus there is an element where the Christian or where the atheist has to trust that their position on the existence of God is correct, despite not being able to know with absolute certainty. I think an important thing to bring up here is that the atheist and theist conversation is often a very emotionally charged one. I think the reason why it is often so charged is because this is not just a mere academic, intellectual conversation about evidence or lack thereof. It is a deeply emotional one for both sides. For the theists, they often have a profound sense of community while attending their houses of worship. Theism can also bring a sense of direction and deeper purpose to people. On the other hand, religion has often had a dark side, and many atheists have experienced the dark side. Abuse, psychological manipulation, and a controlling atmosphere have often plagued religion, including Christianity. Then, when we add the differing emotions, dispositions, personalities, experiences we have as individuals, it can definitely contribute to what we believe and how easy or difficult it can be to change our minds, even when presented with good reasons and evidence to do so. So, a lot of times atheists have experienced negative, negative aspects of religion while growing up or just in general in their adult life. And I think that can certainly contribute to at least part of the reason why some atheists have become atheists. So the question still remains: does it take way more faith to be an atheist than it does to be a Christian? That depends if there is greater uncertainty and implausibility in the atheist position. That would depend on whether there are more reasons to believe that God exists than not. Does the evidence presented by Christians rise to the level of burden of proof known as beyond reasonable doubt, or at the very least rise to the level of preponderance of the evidence, meaning that the evidence for the claims of Christianity are more probably true than not? As we go through the history of the Bible and through the pages of Scripture, we will be asking these questions, so stay tuned. If this kind of content interests you, please hit that like and subscribe button.